Hey friends, thank you for joining me today. I am super stoked, first of all, because I was really inspired by watching these two amazing people traveling around Sicily, which I would love to go there, but then it inspired me to make an Italian dessert. A, because I'm part Italian, and B, because I just love the culture anyway and I love the food. Plus, I'm craving something a little bit sweet. But, you know, even though I'm totally into health and wellness, sometimes I am human and I like to eat sweets. So, today I'm going to make something extremely satisfying for your taste buds, and if you like coffee like I do once in a while, not all the time, but just enjoying the flavor, the essence of coffee infused with sweets. Oh baby, it's so good. So today what I'm going to be making is I am going to be making almond coffee cookies. Had a little freak out moment here because I checked. First of all, you always want to check your cupboards for ingredients if you have them. I didn't. I just, like I always do, jump ahead and be like, I'm going to make these, and then realize, oh, I don't have all the ingredients, or I don't have enough ingredients, but what can I do to improvise? So what happened was I didn't have enough almond flour when it said 4 cups of almond flour. I'm thinking, okay, so how can I improvise? I have almond or coconut flour, so I did all this research online, like how to make almond coconut flour cookies and like integrate that into these cookies that I was going to make. But I actually looked down on the conversion website, and it's actually only a cup of ground almond flour instead of 4 cups. So with what I'm making, I'm not making that many cookies. So I was just like, oh, I was really happy about that. So now I can actually make these cookies. Yay! So let's get started, shall we? I'm super grateful for that conversion website because I was almost in panic mode. But it's asking for a cup of almond flour. So grab your little cup and measure out a cup of almond flour, and it goes in the bowl like this. So I added the sugar as well. So now I'm going to be adding the zest of medium lemon. So a half a zest. I don't have lemons, but I do have lemon juice. So I'm assuming that'll be good enough. I know it's a little bit more liquefied than lemon zest. But when you don't have all the ingredients like I do, it's really good just to try to improvise as much as you can and then see how it turns out. It's all a science experiment, right? So I'm really looking forward to see how these cookies turn out, even if they don't really turn out the way they're supposed to. Maybe they'll satisfy my taste buds too. So I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of lemon juice. Maybe some of you are cringing, you're like, what the heck are you doing, Emily? Honestly, I don't know. Like I said, I'm improvising, but we'll see how it works out. And if it needs more lemon zest, I'll add more lemon juice. So I'm just gonna crack the eggs. Make sure you wash your hands too. But this is gonna be interesting, say the least. So you just put the egg in your hand and let the raw egg white kind of fall through your fingers. So there we go. It didn't say whisk it or anything to add air to the egg white. So this is just what I'm assuming. It wasn't a whole lot of directions. But I'm just gonna put this aside for the time being. Maybe I'll eat this for my lunch so I don't waste the lovely egg that our chickens made so graciously. I appreciate you, chickens. They're molting right now. I feel really bad for them because they're a little bit lethargic and sad and cold, so they're just down in their chicken coop kind of but hopefully they'll get better. I hope if you have chickens, I hope they're not molting and feeling lethargic and depressed like mine are. So it's asking for 1/4 of a tablespoon. So I'm just gonna add a 1/2 of a teaspoon of coffee grounds. And oh my gosh, I love the smell of coffee. Being a recovering coffee addict, just the smell of the coffee makes me just like, oh my gosh, I could have 4 cups of coffee right now and not feel bad about it. Although I'd be bouncing off the walls, but it smells amazing. So I'm just gonna put a 1/2 of a teaspoon in the bowl. Okay, who doesn't love coffee and chocolate and sugar together? So it's asking for 1/2 of a tablespoon of cocoa powder. So I'm just gonna add 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. Again, I'm just guessing with these conversions most of the time. Because that's what I do, as some of you may know. And sometimes it turns out and sometimes it doesn't, but definitely if you're somebody who is a baker, yeah, it is important to follow it precisely or else it probably won't turn out. But I like to experiment and see what happens apparently. So we just did a 1/2 of a tablespoon of cocoa powder. So this is what it looks like so far. And then basically I just whisk it, mix it together, and then we will put it in the oven. Okay, so I am mixing it together so all the flavors mix in there, especially the coffee, the lemon, the egg, the sugar, and the cocoa powder get all mixed up. It's actually looking like it's cookie dough, which I'm really impressed with myself. You have no idea. I was like thinking to myself, should I even post this? But I'm going to post this and you guys will be very surprised how it turns out, like I am, or I will be. So here's the cookie dough. Yeah, it may look a little bit dry, but from a seasoned baker like myself, actually not really, I think it's gonna be fine because it needs to be a little bit dry in order for me to mold it with my hands, or mold it into the shape that it needs to be molded into. So there we go, and now we can make cookies. Next it says to grab some sugar for glazing, which means powdered sugar. And then you want to take the dough, roll it into a ball, and then place it in the powdered sugar, and then put it on the pan and all your cookies on the pan after you do that, and put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 15 minutes or until they look like they're cooked. Some ovens run hotter than others, but yeah, this is gonna be really cool. I'm really excited how it might turn out. It actually might turn out. I'm gonna be really surprised if it does. So you want to take the cookie dough and look how awesome it looks, and I just did it, you know. So sometimes you have to have faith and trust in yourself, like you're gonna make it through. And like my mom always says, if it doesn't turn out great, just sprinkle confectionery sugar over it and it will look really pretty. With sprinkles, you got it. It'll taste good. So you're just going to roll it in the confectionery sugar. One thing that I don't really like about confectionery sugar is that it gets everywhere, but it is what it is. So now you're just gonna have this guy and you're gonna place it on the cookie sheet, and then bada bing bada boom, they come out and then you have amazing cookies. So let's try this out. So they actually look decent. I'm really excited about this. They look like cookies. Oh, and there goes one. But now the next step, or the last step until I put them in the oven, is adding a coffee bean in the middle, one whole coffee bean. But I know, it's raining out, I need some sweets, and these are not as bad as some other cookies. So my cousin surprised my mom for her birthday of coffee beans, chocolate covered coffee beans from Cape May. And so I'm just gonna treat myself with these cookies with the chocolate covered coffee beans. So they are gonna go in the middle. Oh my goodness, I can't wait just to try these. I may eat them all, I may not. I'll wait, I'll share them with people. But yeah, so other healthier options. This is actually a little bit healthy because I'm using almond flour. However, if you're like, I'm not so sure about the sugar, you don't have to use sugar. There are other alternatives like maple syrup. You can use, what do you call them? They're not figs. Maybe you could use figs, but you can use dates. Dates are a really good source of sugar, and it also has a lot of other nutrients in there, so you can use dates as well. And maybe I can make another video of a healthier option than these. You can also, I think, use applesauce as well for a sugar. So you can always just improvise like me. Don't be afraid. And just experiment and see what you may come up with. Like I did, kind of. I mean, I kind of just improvised and went for it. Like I really don't know how to convert an 1/8 of a pound into a cup, even though I'm sure there are resources. But you know what? You do what you gotta do. And then you could come up with a new recipe, and then you could be like a millionaire and sell your recipe in magazines. Who knows? But here are the amazing cookies that I'm going to put in the oven. And then when they come out, I'll do a taste test for you guys, and I'll definitely post this recipe online. Oh, they're going in the oven. Whoop, whoop, can't wait. Now it's waiting time. Do, 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 do. Yum, they are completed. So I'm just gonna let them cool down a little bit, and then I'll do a taste test. But yay, I'm so happy they turned out. I should have flattened them a little bit, but whatevs, you know, they're still cookies. So they're finished cooling, so I'm totally stoked to try one. Okay, so I did try one that just came out of the oven prior, and it was a little bit hot, so I didn't get to taste the entire thing, but here we go. Oh yeah, they're really good. I would say if you like lemon, add a little bit more lemon, but other than that, they're really good. I really like it a lot. So yeah, I'll post the recipe for you guys, and you can try it out and include something that's a little bit more healthy if you want to, and let me know how it turns out. Anyway, have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.